The number one mistake people make after a breakup with an avoidant is not understanding the no contact rule and specifically how the avoidant is being affected. So join me in this video as we delve deeply into the mind of an avoidant as we explore the psychology of no contact. Now, there are going to be four crucial things that we cover in this video specifically. The first thing is what no contact really is, because there are many myths here that essentially need to be busted. Number two, we're going to talk about how long no contact should actually last for in terms of how the avoidant is likely to react. Number three, we're going to talk about what the avoidant is actually feeling during no contact. We're going to cover something really important called the boomerang effect. And last but not least, we'll cover what happens after no contact works and the next steps you can take on your journey. So first and foremost, what no contact is a psychological effect of literally having absolutely no contact with an ex. This includes no talking on the phone, no sending a text message, no sending memes, no liking social media posts, not watching an ex's stories. It actually means no contact whatsoever. There are a lot of objections I hear around things like this, like, well, what if I have to go pick up my things? Well, no contact would then start after the moment that you've picked up your things. And if we break no contact at any point in time, it's essentially nullifying it. Now, how long are we supposed to really do no contact for? You've probably heard the common theme that you should do 30 days of no contact, but that's not really true because different attachment styles have different points in time to which they're going to respond to no contact itself. For example, an anxious attachment style is going to be very affected by no contact strongly within the first 2 weeks. A fearful avoidant attachment style is going to react to no contact within about the first 4 weeks, sometimes up to about 6 or 8 weeks. And an avoidant attachment style, the most avoidant of all love styles, is essentially going to react to no contact in at minimum at the 6 week mark. So generally, we want to do at least 6 weeks of no contact up to 3 months, because the more avoidant somebody is, the more they're going to suppress. Now, this brings us to the next topic, which is what is the avoidant feeling during no contact? And what is the boomerang effect that you mentioned earlier? Well, an avoidant attachment style's major coping mechanism is to literally dismiss and avoid their own emotions. They're masters of this, and they have an extra easy time suppressing, disconnecting from, and numbing their emotions than any other attachment style. So they tend to be very good at this originally. In fact, you may see that they can distract themselves with many creature comforts. This can include things like binge eating food, going out drinking, spending more time at the bar with friends, playing many video games, watching countless movies, whatever it takes to really disconnect from their emotions and their point of view so that they can distract themselves from feeling much of anything at all. In fact, dismissive avoidants are very good compartmentalizers of their emotions as well. And this means that when they go through something difficult, that tends to be their first reaction. And we actually have these different stages that an avoidant attachment style will feel post breakup. That first stage for at least that first 6 weeks, up to 3 months, depending on if we're dealing with a more extreme avoidant attachment style. That first stage is really that numbing and repression stage. But it is after that stage that the boomerang effect starts to take place, where they start to, as enough time has passed between that 6 week to 3 month window, they start to really reflect on the past relationship. What the person's up to now, they wonder. Or they begin to ask themselves, could I have maybe done differently? Or was that the right decision? And it's within this period of time, at least after that 6 weeks, up to 3 months, that we'll see them start to be in that reflective period, which is then followed by the boomerang coming full circle into the actual feeling of their emotions. And it's within this period that they may actually boomerang and start to regret after that period of reflection. Now, it doesn't mean that they're necessarily ready to get back together and go full steam ahead into a relationship, but you may see specifically at this time that the avoidant attachment style is essentially most ripe to wanting to re engage or reconnect. In fact, they may even initiate contact in very subtle ways, like sending a random meme or very high level text message or accidentally calling you or liking your stories. Because an avoidant attachment style is not really excited to be in a position where they have to be vulnerable in order to see how things could go or if they could be different. So you'll generally see that even if an avoidant attachment style is interested in reconnection, they're not going to make it too obvious or too evident. So, what happens if within that period of time you begin to reach out to this person and actually engage in conversation with them? Well, there's a warming back up period. And within this warming back up period, it takes time to really build some sort of reconnection. Now, I want to say a few really important things here that I want you to try to remember. And it's that just because somebody decides to warm back up, reach back out, reconnect in some form, doesn't necessarily mean that the patterns will be different the next time around. In fact, if you do reconnect with an avoidant after no contact, I think it's of the utmost importance that you sit down and really navigate and investigate all the things that didn't go right the first time in the relationship and get very clear about what needs you would have to have met this time around if you're going to try something again, and what boundaries you both need to have around communication and how you do the relationship. Because unless we actually create transformation in these patterns, we're likely to just reconnect and then end up back at square one a few months later where we've broken up again. So there tends to be a few really important stages after no contact works in terms of how we reconnect and how we step back into the new version of the relationship. And this starts with stage one being all about making sure that we have that warming back up stage. So once you've re-engaged and started to connect and chat on a regular basis after that 6 week to 3 month window, you then want to proceed to be in a position where you chat and sort of warm back up for a couple of weeks before eventually, a couple weeks after reconnecting, maybe spend time in person at a very high level, going for coffee or a drink or something simple and easy. And then if we see that that goes well, we can continue to go down the path of relating to that person, building up that relationship to the point where it's going to be about an 8 week total. So we have the two first weeks of just reconnecting, followed by about 6 weeks of spending time together. Now, it's often within this period of time you'll see two individuals start acting like they're in a relationship without really defining the relationship. That's essentially how this tends to go. Because if we put our foot on the gas pedal and try to go full steam ahead, the avoidant attachment style is going to go back into their fears rather than their feelings. And they may go into deactivating mode, which could sabotage this reconnection. But it's at the end of that next 8 weeks that it is very important to move into the next step, which is have a conversation specifically about what your needs are, what you could have both done differently in the relationship the first time around. Bring up that you're spending more time together. Obviously, there's still feelings there. And while you may not be trying to jump into a relationship immediately, if you are going to continuously spend time together, what would need to be different so you don't end up back at square one? And if you can navigate the conversation that way without it seeming like an ultimatum, but with you still being honest, transparent, and pushing the relationship forward, this is how the avoidant is most and best likely to respond.
So, I have some really exciting news, and it's that integrated attachment theory training is back. So, who is this for? Well, of course, this is for any individual who wants to make an impact and really be of service to others while also obtaining freedom and flexibility and abundance in their lives. And this is also for anybody who's already a counselor, a therapist, a coach, and just really wants to expand their toolkit. We've had so many people enter into the integrated attachment theory program because they're just looking to obtain a certain degree of mastery in terms of understanding their own attachment patterns and also the attachment patterns of maybe their children or partner or other loved ones in their lives so they can really support those people and understand them more deeply. So if you're interested, click the link below to learn more and dive in with me. And I'd love to see you on the other side before seats run out.
Now, there's one very last thing that probably takes precedence over anything else. And it's that you do need to make sure that when you have this reconnection phase, you don't allow yourself to stay in the gray area forever. What I mean by that is we want to set a deadline for how long we're actually going to go through this process. Because if you're taking the first 6 weeks up to maybe 3 months just to go no contact, followed by an 8 week stage of reconnecting, of seeing how things are going and where they could be going in the future. And then at the end of that 8 weeks, you start pushing the relationship forward for another month or two before there's a real commitment, let's say. It's a pretty long period of time. So, what you need to make sure you're doing is that you're clear on the deadline that you're going to stick around for. And if you're not seeing the needle move significantly enough at the end of that reconnection stage, you have to give yourself permission to walk away, knowing that you tried to do everything you could from your part and knowing that you showed up as the best possible version of yourself that you can. If you're not seeing your needs be met or the relationship reconnecting in a way that's also suitable for what you're looking for while taking yourself into consideration, then we have to give ourselves permission to move in a different direction. So setting a deadline to protect yourself and your own heart is also key. So if you want to learn more about this as a whole, we have a whole course. It's about 2 hours long, all about the steps and strategies in a lot of detail for how to reconnect with an avoidant attachment style after no contact. It really does dig into that really important part about knowing whether or not this is the right person for you. And you can check it out fully for free for a limited time using the link down below. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please subscribe to this channel so you don't miss any of our daily content. And thank you for watching.